Hi everyone, I'm Jennifer from English with Jennifer. Do you use the verb can? I think you do. Here are some examples. I can swim, but I can't swim very well. Can you sing? Can you help me with my homework? Can I ask you a question? Which examples are about ability, meaning skills or talents? Number 1 and number 2, right? We use can to talk about ability. What about the other examples? In number 3, I'm asking for help. It's a request. In number 4, I'm asking, is it okay or is it not okay? I'm asking for permission. In this lesson, you can study with my students, Flavia and Andrea. We'll practice making requests and asking for permission. If I ask you, can I have your phone number?
Mm-hmm.
You need the pen, right?
Yeah.
What can you ask me? Can I have your phone number? I'll give you a hint. Use.
Can you use your pen? Can I use your pen?
There you go. Can I have your phone number?
Yeah. Can I use your pen?
Sure. Okay. Right? So can I have your phone number? I'm using can for permission.
Mm-hmm.
What is permission? Like a request, either permission or a request.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Parents give permission to children. Teachers give permission to students. Bosses give permission to workers, right? So permission usually comes from someone who can say yes or no, right? Request is when you're asking for things, right? You want something and you ask in a nice way, right? Jennifer, give me your pen. That's not a request. But can I use your pen? That's a request. So we use can a lot for permission and for requests, right? Okay. Can I use your pen? It's very common to use the verb borrow. Borrow. Sometimes students get confused with lend, right?
Yes.
This is my pen, and I give it to Flavia. So that's my pen. Are you borrowing or lending the pen?
You lend me.
And you are?
I borrow your pen.
Exactly. So if I need a mirror, I could also ask, can I borrow your mirror? Can I borrow your mirror? Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. When people ask to borrow or to use something, you can say yes. What else could you say? Yes, especially if it's a friend. Sure. What else? Can I borrow your mirror?
Sure.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
No problem.
No problem.
No problem. Of course. Of course. Okay. Can I use your bathroom?
Sure.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. What else would I ask? Can I have a glass of water?
Of course.
No. Please.
More.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Sure. Sure. Let me get it for you, or I'll go get you one. So, sure. Of course. No problem. Yes. This is a longer sentence for something more important. So if you want my pen, I say sure, and you take it. Maybe you want to borrow the earrings. You like the earrings, you want them for a Christmas party. It's like, Jennifer, I love those earrings. I said, oh, I'd be happy to lend them to you. If you want to use them for your party, I'd be happy to lend them to you. You can give them back to me next week. Okay? So if you want to tell someone that it's okay, they can borrow something special, and you're happy to do that. It's your friend. So, oh, I'd be happy. I'd be happy to lend it. I'd be happy to lend them to you. Okay?
Do you remember the difference between borrow and lend? Let's see. Which verb do I need? Can I borrow your headphones? Thank you for lending me your bag. Sasha lent me her charger because my battery was low. I borrowed Mike's ruler and then I gave it back to him. If someone is asking to borrow something from you, you can say yes or no. If you say yes, you can use one of these common answers. Sure. Of course. Absolutely. Yeah, no problem. Let's practice making more requests.
Let's see what else we can ask. I have some suggestions. I'm going to tell you a sentence of what you want or what you need, and you can ask me for something. Use a nice request with can. So, for example, you want to use my pen, you ask, Jennifer, can I use your pen? Can I or can I please? Right?
Can I please?
If you use can, it's already nice. Americans don't always say please. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Can I use your pen? Can I please use your pen? We don't always say please. Alright, so
Please, not then.
you can. Can I use your pen, please? I think it sounds almost a little more polite, maybe a little more formal if I say, can I use your pen, please? But to a friend, I wouldn't even say please to a friend. It's like, can I use your pen? I don't say please to a friend. but I'm asking. I'm not going to say, give me your pen. I make it a question, and that's nice. And my voice makes it nice. I don't always say please to a friend. Right? Can I use your mirror? Right? Can I please use your mirror? Please is extra nice, but to friends, we don't always use please. I think other cultures might use please more than we do. But, okay, Flavia, you want to call me tonight. So focus on the verb. You want to call me tonight.
Can I call you tonight?
Sure.
Yeah.
You want to ask me a grammar question. You want to ask me a grammar question.
Can I ask about the grammar home?
Sure. Yeah, I'd be happy to help. Okay. Can I ask you a grammar question? Can I ask you about grammar? Sure, no problem. What do you want to know? You want to watch one of my son's hockey games. You want to watch a hockey game.
Can I watch your son's game?
Sure. Yeah. I think it'd be fun. Yeah, you have to come. Okay. You want to meet my dog. You want to meet my dog.
Can I meet your dog?
Of course. Yeah. But you can't bring your cats. She's a big dog. Okay. Sometimes we say can, a little more polite. Could. So maybe to a stranger, like if you're in an office and you have to sign a paper, you don't have a pen. You see a woman or a man at the desk, they have a pen. He's like, could I use your pen, please? I would be more polite. It's a stranger, I don't know them. I might switch from can to could, and I might add please. Could I use your pen, please? At the end, or in the middle. Could I please use your pen? You could do please at the end, or please in the middle. Could I please? Can I please? Could I please use your pen? So, even with my children, if I know I'm asking something special, I'll say to my children, can you please go? Could you please go? Because I don't want to. Could you please go to the neighbors and get some cheese? Right? And ask them. So the nicer you are, you change the level. Can, could, and you can add on the pleases. The please. May is also used for permission and requests. Right? And we ask, especially when we want to be polite with somebody who has power and authority, the director, your boss, right? May I, very polite, may I. Can you imagine a situation where your phone died? That happens. You need to make a phone call. Maybe you're at an office and you know this is a very special request. You say, I'm so sorry, my phone died. May I please use your phone? Could I please make a phone call? I mean, that's a very special request, but you might need to make it. My phone died. May I please use your phone? May I please? May I please use your phone? Could I please make a phone call? Right? And you can say it's local. It's not international. I'm not calling Brazil. Okay, so you're at a hotel and you're with your husband. They gave you one pillow. You need another pillow. So you need to pick up the phone and you need to ask for another pillow.
May I have one more pillow, please?
Yes. No. Yes. That's very nice. So if you're on the phone, may I have another pillow, please? And you can always give your room number. This is room 212. They should know, but this is room 212. May I have another pillow, please? I'll say, sure, I'll bring it to you. Okay? You're calling a restaurant. It's a nice restaurant. And you want to make a reservation for 7 p.m.
May I make a reservation for 6 p.m.?
Sure. How many? How many are in your party? They'll say party. How many in your party?
4.
4. Okay. May I have they'll ask, may I have your name, please?
Oh.
Alright, and then they'll take your name. Alright, may I make a reservation, please? May I make a reservation for 7 p.m., for 6 p.m.? Alright, good. You're calling a company for some reason, it happens, and you want to speak to Mr. Peterson. One more time, hello, ABC Company.
May I speak to Mr. Peter?
Mr. Peter. Mr. Peter.
Please?
Sure, may I ask who's calling? They'll ask for your name. So the question is, may I have your name? May I have your name?
Yes.
That's what you'll hear. And you have to give your name. So my first name is Flavia. So now decide. We have can, could, may. You need to choose for the situation and think, who are you talking to? Okay? You want to borrow your friend's sweater.
Can I borrow your sweater?
Yeah, that's what I'd say. Can I borrow your sweater?
Can I borrow your sweater?
Can she borrow your sweater?
Yes.
Sure, no problem. You want to borrow her necklace. It's a nice necklace.
Can I borrow your necklace?
Yeah, that's fun. But if it's a very nice necklace, I'd be like, can I borrow your necklace, please? Or, could I please borrow
Could
your
I?
necklace?
Could I borrow your necklace, please?
No, it's just too special. It's like, no. So yes, but you have to be very, very careful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
We use can, could, and may for requests and permission. If we need help or if we want to do something, we ask questions with these verbs, these modal verbs. Repeat after me. Can I use your pen? Could I please use your pen? May I use your pen, please? Can you help me? Could you please help me? Could you help me, please? Note how we only use may I in a question. We don't say may you. It's time for a fun speaking activity. Listen to Flavia, Andrea, and I create a story. You can do this too. Tell a story. Use the words you know in English. Have fun.
All right, so let's use some of the language. Borrow and lend. We can borrow, we can lend. I'm going to tell a story and you help me continue the story. I don't have a sister, but this is a story. So I borrowed my sister's jacket and I lost it. Then what?
I
Talked or told?
I told my sister, then I lost her jacket, and she was very angry.
Then what?
My sister asked me to buy another jacket for her.
And I told her I have no money.
And I cried.
If you don't have something, you say pass. Pass. I offered a sweater to my sister.
Good idea.
Yeah. I went to my closet, I found a sweater, and I offered the sweater to my sister.
She accepted.
She accepted. Okay. All right, new story, and we'll go this way. My car had no gas, so I borrowed my friend's car.
I crashed my friend's car. I cried. I cried.
I didn't want to call my friend.
I tried to fix the car before he see?
Before he saw it.
He saw, yeah.
Oh.
But my friend called me. Hi, car is okay, and I cried.
Good. I confessed. Confessed.
I confessed.
Oh, okay. Then my friend cried and said or asked, "How bad is it?"
It's not too bad, but there is a lot scratch.
Oh, good. A lot of
A lot of
scratches.
scratches. Yeah.
Big scratch. Just a little scratch.
But I pay.
When you say, "I'm going to pay,"
I'm going.
what is that? I will pay. I'm going to pay. That means you promise. Promise. Past tense.
I
Promise.
promise.
I promise
I promise pay
to pay.
to pay.
I promise to pay.
I promise to pay.
Okay. And my friend was said okay and hung up.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that the end?
You have to borrow your car for me.
Oh, my friend
Yeah.
said
My friend said
you have to.
to lend your car.
Yeah, I lend your car to me.
Yeah, to
Okay.
me. Yeah.
Okay. But first you need gas. Okay.
That's all for now. Please like and share the video if you found it useful. As always, thanks for watching and happy studies. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe. Turn on those notifications.